What's up, Bears fans? Harrison Graham here for Chicago Bears Now. 10 o'clock Central or so here on a Saturday night, and we've got some breaking news heading into tomorrow's matchup with the San Francisco 49ers. Before we break down that news, last chance to secure the win in subscriber battle for this week against the 49ers report here at Chat Sports. We've had a 2-week battle, myself and Chase Sr. We've taken a lead, about 660 subscribers for Bears Now, about 600 for the 49ers report. So still up in the air, but we can put them away with some new subscribers here tonight. So help us out, hit that sub button, and hey, who's bringing you breaking news coverage here at 10 o'clock the night before a game? Not many people on YouTube. That's what we do, the latest news and rumors around the Chicago Bears. All right, let's get to the nuts and bolts. George Kittle, not expected to play, according to Matt Maicco of NBC Bay Area, and a couple of other reports coming out as well. Maicco's tweet right here: Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle did not practice this week due to a groin injury. The team does not want to take any unnecessary risks this early in the season, so he is not expected to be active on Sunday against the Bears in Week 1. This is kind of where I thought this was heading. They listed him as questionable on Friday, but he did not practice once again. And I'm thinking there, do the Niners really want to risk further injury to George Kittle? A groin injury, groins, hamstrings, you try to play through those, you can tweak them further and you can be out longer. San Francisco is a team trying to go places this year. I thought holding him out would make sense, and now it appears that is going to be the case, that George Kittle will not play in this game against the Chicago Bears. Obviously, that has a huge impact for both of these teams in this matchup, which we will certainly break down here in today's show. But what I want you to do now is predict the score, assuming that George Kittle is not going to play for San Francisco. Let me know who you think is going to win and what the final score is going to be. Maybe you were already picking the Bears. Maybe you were someone who was picking the Niners, but now you're like, I might change my score prediction to Chicago. Whatever it is, if your score doesn't change, that's fine as well. Get your score prediction in right now in the comment section. I'll make it the pinned comment on today's video, so reply right there. Score predictions, assuming George Kittle does not play in this matchup. And if it's true that George Kittle is not going to play, which I don't think he's going to, it doesn't make sense. If reports are coming out that he's not expected to just, 15 hours before kickoff, I don't think anything's going to change. So I don't think George Kittle is going to play. And if that's the case, let's talk about the Bears aspect of that, and then we'll talk about the Niners aspect of that. For the Bears, obviously, you don't have to go up against one of, if not the most dynamic tight ends in the NFL right now. Maybe Travis Kelce's a tougher guard, but George Kittle, what he does for this Niners offense, both as a weapon in the receiving game and as a blocker in the running game, is a huge, huge loss for San Francisco in this matchup. For Chicago, if you're Roquan Smith, you don't have to key in on Kittle anymore in coverages. You can play a little bit more downhill, perhaps, key in more on that running game that San Francisco is going to try and employ, even more so now that Kittle is not out there. But it's going to be harder for them to be as effective because Kittle's so good in that blocking scheme, in that wide zone that the Bears are now employing with their offense. But it's huge for the Bears. Now, if you're Chicago, key in on Deebo Samuel, who took that 85-yard tunnel screen last year, which was a backbreaker for Chicago in that matchup in what was a back-and-forth game between San Francisco and Chicago last season. Key in on Deebo. Don't let him get big plays on you. That's got to be priority number one now without Deebo Samuel. Now, obviously, or without George Kittle, excuse me. So try to eliminate Deebo, or at least take him away as much as possible, and focus more on stopping the run, because we know that Kyle Shanahan, especially with Trey Lance, who's making really his first real NFL start. I know he had 1 or 2 starts last year when Jimmy Garoppolo was banged up, but this is his first real start where he's been the starter all offseason. He's the guy. There's pressure on him because they brought back Jimmy Garoppolo, but not having George Kittle is a big deal. So if you're Chicago, you really try and key in on the run, stop the run, limit Deebo, then you can go tee off on Trey Lance, because get him into some third and mediums, third and longs, and see what he can do without having that safety net in Kittle, which, again, a quality tight end is a young quarterback's best friend, and if Kittle's not out there, which doesn't look like he's going to be, that is huge for the Bears defense and even bigger for the 49ers offense. What's your one-word reaction to George Kittle not playing in this game? Because it's a weird feeling, right? Like, you don't want to cheer for injuries. Now, if you're the Bears, you're not going to, shed a tear for George Kittle being out, but you're not rooting for anybody to get injured, anybody to not play. That's just not good sportsmanship, and that's not what I'm going to do here on this channel. But the reality is, it doesn't look like he's going to play, so we're going to talk about it because it's going to have a direct impact on this game. So give me your one-word reaction to George Kittle not playing in this matchup. My word, or really just my short reaction, is okay. I mean, again, not cheering for it, but I'd be lying if I said it doesn't give the Bears a better chance of winning this game. That's just reality of the situation. So now, like I said, key in on Debo. Try to stop the run and put yourself in a better situation defensively. Now, more specifically, how it hurts the Niners offense, I kind of hit on it just moments ago, is Trey Lance, he knows going into the early part of the season, hey, if things break down, just throw it to Kiddle. I mean, he's a big body guy who can box people out, can get open, safety valve. George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the game, one of the best tight ends of the past decade or so. He doesn't have that now. So, yeah, Deebo Samuel's a really good player, and Brandon Ayuk had a nice year last year. It came on strong late and is looking to have a big third season, but neither of those guys, even Debo, were like, hey, this is my safety net. You know what I mean? That's not really the type of player that those guys are. They're more, explosive playmakers, yes, but not really safety valve. So when things break down, where is Trey Lance going to go? I think when things break down, he's going to try and use his legs, which is why I talked about earlier this week. You got to rush with discipline. You cannot let him break contain and run all over you, because Trey Lance is capable of doing that, just like Justin Fields is capable of doing that to other defenses as well. So that is another thing you really have to key in on if you're Chicago is don't let Trey Lance take off and get 20, 25 yards with his feet, more than once. Maybe he gets one of those, but for the most part, got to keep him contained. I'll be very curious. I think Kyle Shanahan is going to really try and establish that run game with Elijah Mitchell leading the way and those other backs, because, Kittle not being there, man, it's just going to take away some things. I mean, there's just no way around it. It's, you take Travis Kelce away from Kansas City, a quarter of that playbook is cooked. I mean, that's how big of an impact these guys have, these unicorn tight ends. Like Roquan Smith and Jaquan Brisker are probably two better type of players equipped to try and guard a guy like Kittle, but you're not going to shut him down. You're just not. And now that he's not in the picture, those guys can tee off a little bit more. And yeah, I know Brisker's making his first start, but he's the type of safety that can, hold his own against tight ends. And now he can play a little more rangy, a little more loose, more in the box, try and stop the run, which is something he's really good at. Roquan, like I said, can get downhill. Sure, he's still going to play in coverage a lot, but he can really focus in on that run game, shoot the gaps, and make tackles. I mean, this might be a 15-tackle game all of a sudden for Roquan Smith with Kittle not in the picture. You don't have to worry about his blocking because, again, he's such a good blocker as a tight end. And B, you don't have to worry about his release and him working the seam either. He's out of the picture. So this is a big deal. This is a really, really big deal, which is why I'm doing a video here at 10:15 at night now here on a college football Saturday, which, by the way, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been an unbelievable day. Started with Texas, Alabama. I'll just be frank. Texas got screwed in that game. My wife's a Texas alum. My parents went to Texas. I actually grew up a Texas fan, went to TCU, so my allegiances have changed, but Texas got completely screwed. But the point is I'm stepping aside here at the end of my college football Saturday because I'm bringing you guys the news. That's what we do here at Chicago Bears Now. So it's going to be fascinating, guys. Going to be fascinating. Kickoff in under 15 hours at Soldier Field. We're going to be live 15 minutes before kickoff, so be sure to join us. So subscribe, turn on notifications. Live watch party. If you've never joined us for our watch parties, we have a live score scoreboard on screen. I provide play-by-play. We have analysis of every single play, live stats, play-by-play. We're going to be drinking some beers. It's going to be a fun time, so be sure to subscribe and join us because let's beat the Niners, man. You got to take advantage of this. That's one thing I'll say. While we're not cheering for injuries here, got to take advantage of this. You catch a young quarterback early in the year, Kittle's out, let's go. Go win this game. You're at home. This is a game you can go and win if you are the Chicago Bears. Remember, get those score predictions down in the comments. Get the F49s in there as well because, hey, we all love Robbie Gould and the boys for knocking off Green Bay last year, but hey, it's time for the Bears to knock off the Niners. That's all I'm saying. All right, hope you guys have enjoyed your Saturday. Get some rest. Early start tomorrow with a noon kickoff at Soldier Field. Hope to see you guys in the live chat tomorrow. You can follow me on social media as well at HGramNFL on Twitter and on Instagram. Until then, we'll see you here on Bears Now. Bear the down.